Hi everyone, Andrea here with Crafts on the Move. I'm really excited to be bringing you May's Cake Card Kit. This is the card that you will be making, and I have another inspirational card, which is this one, and it's just the white and silver. And then I made a third card, and this is the pink and silver. And because we're going to be ink blending the cake, you can make any color that you want, but for today's video, I'm going to stick with the blue. And we're going to go over the kit contents now. Your kit includes this small stamp set, which includes 4 assorted sentiments. You will have one bag that's labeled paper for ink blending. This has 3 pre-cut cakes that have already been embossed, and 4 A2 white cardstock panels. All of this paper is from Hammermill, so hopefully it will make the ink blending easier for you. You will also receive another bag that has a couple of the mats. This is white, which has been sprayed with the silver glitter dust, which is that. There's 3 of those, and these are 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and then you have 3 brushed silver 5 by 7 panels. The third bag includes 3 5 by 7 envelopes to mail your cards, and 3 5 by 7 card bases already cut and pre-scored and made with 110-pound cardstock. You will also receive this paper for die cutting. This is the silver paper, brushed silver paper that you will use to cut the confetti pieces here. And then you will also receive 110-pound weight white cardstock. This is for the stamping, for your drip icing, and for your whipped cream or your rosettes on top of the cake. And you receive 6 of those panels. The other items in your kit content are also the written instructions, a colored photo with the blue card, and a cutting guide. The supplies you are going to need include ink. For the blue, I'm using Tumbled Glass, Salty Ocean, and Chipped Sapphire. And I'm using regular Distress ink, but you can use oxide inks or any other ink colors that you want. And then I'm only using 1 blending brush since I'm staying in the blue family. You're also going to want a pair of scissors, a paper piercer, 3D foam tape, double-sided foam tape. You're going to need some packaging tape, wipes, your tape runner. I will be using a sticky mat for my ink blending, liquid glue, and a paper trimmer. And then lastly, which is optional if you have it, some nice sheer shimmer sparkle. I'm going to spray this on my cake, and we're going to get started. The first thing I am going to do is I'm going to trim one of the A2 Hammermill panels to 1 inch by 5.5 strips. I'm going to cut 2 of them. And this is per card. And these are I'm going to ink blend these so that I can have the shell borders. I am going to start with the tumbled glass. That way I can get the lightest color of the tumbled glass. Once I start dipping into the darker colors, the tumbled glass changes just a little bit because there is a little bit of other wet ink on there. And I'm going to use the sticky mat. So I'm just going to put my 1-inch panels here. One will be tumbled glass, and then the second one will be the Chipped Sapphire. This is Chipped Sapphire, this is Salty Ocean in here, and then this is tumbled glass. And so what you want is, well, it's up to you, but I did the Chipped Sapphire to blend in with the bottom layer, and I did the tumbled glass to blend in with the top layer. And you're just going to apply your ink as heavy as you want it on your paper. Now I'm going to ink the top one with Chipped Sapphire. Remove these from the sticky mat if that's what you're using. Let them dry. I'm going to clean my sticky mat, even though I know I'm still using glues, but I don't want to take the chance of accidentally getting sapphire on the tumbled glass where I don't want it. What I would do for the confetti pieces is take your hammer mill paper and cut it in half. Or even this strip, cut this into thirds because you're only going to need 3, and then ink blend these up, or you can just keep it like this. It's really up to you. And I'm going to start in the center since I know there's some dark on here. I'm going to use Salty Ocean in the center. I'm going to go to tumbled glass. I'm just going to try and rub any of this excess ink off over here because the Chipped Sapphire is going to get applied on the right side. And lastly, I'm going to add Chipped Fire to the right side here. Another option you can do with your cake, which I did the ombre from top to bottom, but you could do it from left to right. And if that's the case and you had this, you could actually use this as your shell strip as well, just to get a little bit of a different color mix up. But these are going to be cut out in using the confetti pieces. I'm not terribly worried about them blending evenly because it's all going to be cut out. So I'm going to remove this piece and set it aside. I'm going to wipe my mat down again. And the next thing I'm going to do is ink my cake. I always put this as the top. It's more of the flat, and I use the round as the bottom. And I am going to start at the bottom with the ink just to get the blue, this dark blue off, and then I will go with the tumbled glass. I will add the tumbled glass at the top in a couple seconds. Now I'm going to go in with the Salty Ocean in the middle section. And I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up towards the light blue, because again I'm going to be adding the Chipped Sapphire to the bottom. And then you won't even see that I added the Salty Ocean because the Chipped Sapphire will cover it up. Now I'm going to add the Chipped Sapphire on the bottom portion and blend it up into the Salty Ocean. Going to add a little Salty Ocean. And now I'm going to come back in with a little bit of the tumbled glass. Just blend it all in. I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna take my shimmer spray. Just spritz a little bit. This is optional and not included in the kit, but I just want to add a little extra shimmer to the cake. I'm gonna peel this off. I'm going to set this aside to dry, and you're going to see, look at how the difference between the wet and the dry tumbled glass. Same with the blue, the dark blue chip sapphire. Another trick you're going to want to use is the packaging tape on your regular white cardstock. You're gonna cut the dripped icing without, it's up to you. You can, I did not add packaging tape to this. I wanted there to be a texture difference between the drip portion and the rosettes or the whipped cream that were on top. I added the packaging tape to the rosettes. And you can see the shimmer on the rosettes opposed to this drip down here. And what you're going to do for that, however you want to do it, and I think we might have done this in another card, I think so, you just take your packaging tape and your paper and cover your paper with the packaging tape. Like such. Put your die on it and run it through the die cut machine. I'm going to do that off screen. Here are my die cut pieces. You are going to need quite a few of the whipped cream topping if you want this to be full. It only cuts 4 at a time, so you'll have to do a few. I've done a few ahead of time. These banner pieces out, and I use 3. You're going to end up cutting 4 since it cuts 2 per pass through the die cutting machine. But you can either have extra, or you can, if you're making all 3 cards, you only need to do it a couple of times. It's up to you. I'm going to cut this, and if you want to put tape on that, you can. I did it in one and I didn't really care for it. But what you're going to do for this portion is you're going to take this piece that we inked at the beginning, and we're going to apply the dye to that and run it through the machine. I'm going to actually start with the light just in case I transfer ink. Excellent. Hopefully you're keeping along. So I have the light blue for the top icing and the dark blue. I have my whipped cream or my rosettes cut out with the packaging tape on it. I have my drip icing. I also have my 3 banners. Now all I need to do is cut out the little decorative balls from this panel of paper. You're going to need, I believe, 1 of each. Hopefully you're keeping along. I went ahead and off camera assembled 2 of these strands. I'm going to assemble the 3rd one for you on camera, and I just took the exact same colors that colored patterns that I used on the original because I liked it, and I'm duplicating it. And I don't know if I said this, but you might want some tweezers or a sticky tool. Right, and that's the last banner. They're all done. And if you run the six-piece die once with each color, you'll have enough for one card for all the banners. And then what I actually ended up doing on my samples, just to add a little bit more texture, on the ones I had extra pieces, I actually glued to double it and just give it a little more dimension. The other thing that you can do as well is you can cut another white strip and glue it behind here. You just want to make sure that you cut the ends of the ropes off, because these do tuck under and you want them to lay as flat as possible. And if you build up too much bulk, it won't lay that flat on the card. We are gonna assemble the cake now. I have my cake here, and I'm gonna glue this piece on to the top like such. I'm gonna use my tape runner. I like the way that looks. Then I am gonna use the 1/8 inch foam tape for behind my icing, the light blue icing. And this is the exact length, which is really nice. And I just curve the foam tape as best as I can. And cover that dashed line up. You're gonna add 1/8 inch foam tape behind the bottom icing strip. Shift it just to the right a little. Now you're going to take your rosettes or your whipped cream and you're going to start building them on the top of your cake. I'm going to do that off screen, and I just temporarily kind of place them where I think I want them and then go back and glue them. I will be back. Wonderful. I have added the whipped topping or rosettes to the top of the cake, and I want to show you something I wanted to include in the card, but I decided not to for the sample and the instruction, but I'm going to show you in the video. I wanted to make a pull slide from the icing, and what I did was I took a piece of white cardstock that's about 4 1/4 and 2 1/2, and I just added some of the buttercream topping to the top, and then I put foam behind the back part of the cake to block out or square off where this is going to slide in and out. So you can put a gift card in here if you want, or you can put a hidden message. And I'm actually going to glue this to the card base so that people can pull this, the recipient can pull this up. And that's just a little hidden treasure I wanted to share with you. I'm going to add the cake to the glitter sprayed white card panel. And you need to get the cake pretty low if you're gonna add the banner border at the top. That looks great. And I'm gonna glue this down. A little bit of liquid adhesive. And then I'm going to add this. Excellent. I'm going to trim those white pieces off. Now the card is ready to get mounted. I went ahead off screen and I added the silver, brushed silver to the card base. Wonderful. Here's the completed card. It has the slider, the hidden slide in it, which I absolutely love. It's a little extra for you. And then I just need to add the sentiment, which I will do offline when I decide what I'm going to use the card for. Thank you for joining me.